If you're a designer on a small team, there's a good chance that your code base is moving faster than your Figma files. And there's probably always going to be a gap between what's in production and what's in design. But with tools like Claude Code, we can definitely close that gap. Recently, Figma announced a code to canvas feature, which allows you to send a batch of code, whether it's an entire page or a specific element, and have it rebuilt in Figma using Claude. So in this video, I want to show you what that looks like, how to set it up, and what some of those use cases could be. I've just pulled up my personal website here, and we're just going to be sending this page into Figma. We're going to make some changes, and then we'll even send it back to Claude and have it rebuild it in the code. So I'm going to assume you already have something that you want to send from code. This is just in my local, and we'll spin up a new terminal and just jump into that repo and open up Claude. This should also work in something like Cursor if that's what you're more comfortable with, but terminal is kind of the base and most universal, so I wanted to show you how you can set it up there. So the first thing you want to do is just type /MCP, and you may already have your Figma connected here. If it says unauthorized, you could just scroll down, click enter, and just make sure you reauthorize that way. In my case, I had multiple MCPs here for some reason. I had a desktop and then a local. And it's important to note that this generate Figma design MCP command only works in the remote MCP. So all that to say, the correct one is Figma, and if you see others, it'd be best to deauthorize that or just remove it and then just focus on using this one. I'll also link down below to Figma's support page, which actually helped me figure this out, and some of the commands I use to run this in Claude. That's pretty much all the setup you have to do, and once you've actually got your page up and running, you could simply just say, send this design to Figma here. I've already got a file pulled up, so I'm just going to copy that link at the top and paste it in. Now, it may ask you to authorize, and it's going to take a few seconds to run through and kind of get the lay of the land. It does a pretty decent job of just kind of pasting it in wherever you copied the file from. If you don't give it a specific frame, it just kind of pastes to the first page, I believe. So you may have to go digging for it, but we should be able to see it pop up in Figma. Doesn't look like I have to do any authorization. We should be good to go. Obviously, depending on the size of your project, this could take a couple seconds or could even take like a minute or two. Just really depends how much work's going on. So it's asking me to start the server just to look at it. And typically the way it works is it starts a new session with Claude in your local host, and then it'll spin up this send to Figma widget. So you'll see this opening in my browser. By default, it's just going to open up the page and immediately send the entire viewport. So I'll pause in Chrome for a second. Let's jump over to Figma, and we should already see that entire page rebuilt. Now, a couple disclaimers. This is not going to be pixel perfect. Where I see this really being valuable is if you have no artifacts existing for what you have in code, and you want to bring that in and just start playing around with it as a base rather than starting from scratch. So you can see right off the bat there's some things that were off. We have on code, we have this little hover effect where it traces the SVG icon, and it kind of pulled half of that in. So it had like the highlight hover effect and then the rest of it. And like you can see the border radius is off here. As far as the actual layer quality, if you look into some of the layers, it has this weird like canvas going across everything. But if you actually just move that down, all this text is selectable. I found that this can be kind of inconsistent, whether it's however you structured in code or just Figma MCP being a little unreliable. For example, this whole text layer came in perfectly, and I can edit this. It's got all the right font, the style, everything is good to go. But then if you look at this title, we've got like individual frames, and they're not even auto layout for each letters. I'm realizing that this could actually be because I have an animation that kind of splices each letter and it pulls it up. So if I go back and hit refresh, you'll see it kind of pulls one letter at a time. But overall, the Figma design is looking pretty solid. And like I said, it's a really good place to have a base when you're just trying to get something into Figma so you have a little bit more control. You jump back to your browser where we're looking at the code, you should see this send to Figma widget. So we can either send the entire screen or we can hit select element and then hover over specific UI elements. So if we wanted like just this icon, we could copy that. And if I jump back to Figma, you should see that pasted here at the end. Like I said, when the script first runs, it's just going to immediately capture whatever that first screen is. Even if you have a login page, it doesn't matter. Figma just is very reactive. It opens it and takes a screenshot and basically rebuilds it. What we actually would want is that control to go screen by screen or select different elements. So to me, that kind of first screen is a bit of a throwaway unless your homepage happens to be exactly what you're looking for. But for example, if we wanted to go into like the studio modal and maybe I want to capture this page here, I can then click entire screen once I've navigated. And then if we jump over to Figma, you'll see that it did a decent job. I've noticed that it can almost never pull in the background blur effect, kind of have this going on in the modal, so it didn't really detect that. Now this was a YouTube video embed, so it looked like it didn't load that, and I would expect it to at least grab a screenshot, just so you have some sort of placeholder. But overall, it's a good place to start if I wanted to say, like, what does this modal look like if I expand this out? Again, it depends on how good the auto layout is. You may have to do some adjustments, like that wasn't set to fill. The header here is also not set to fill, and it looks like it's getting covered somehow. Not really anything happening there. But if you just want to get in and start moving around with those elements or start converting over to your design system and then sending it back to Claude, that's a great starting point. You'll notice that none of the colors or the styles or anything is going to be connected to your design system. These are just going to be raw drop shadows, raw hex codes. It's all going to be pretty hard coded. So there is that disclaimer. To me, within Figma, that is a bit of a legacy workflow to have everything pixel perfect, always in sync with your design system. I honestly have gotten to a point where specific pages or components are very high fidelity, and those should be in sync when you hand over to engineering. But trying to get every single page perfect and linked to your styles just isn't realistic when you can do so many things faster inside of the terminal. So let's say I want to add another tab. We have this life and work tab at the top, and I was already starting to build out a bookshelf, and I've already sent the tab, but there's just nothing there. Let's say we want to actually build that out really quickly in Figma. This is going to be pretty rough, but at least I've got a starting point with the right canvas. So I'm going to go to the home page, and I'm just going to drag a copy. And let's make sure that the buttons are good here, because then I can actually use auto layout just to move this around. So I'll shift the tab group to auto layout and move that to the right, and we'll just call this bookshelf and set that to hug. This will be work, and this will be life. And we'll make sure that that's centered and set to hug. So now we've got our bookshelf tab. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but I'll probably delete the now page, and I'm going to paste in a book cover here, and I'm just going to create a component and use the same one, and then we'll ask Claude to swap it out with different content. So I'm going to wrap this in an auto layout, and I will paste that out, and we'll just do a ton and set it to a grid. Probably do like 4x3. That works here. And let me make sure this is actually in the frame. I'm going to probably just add like a drop shadow, border radius, and we'll call it done. But if I go to the main component, we should be able to add quarter radius here of like 12. I'll add a drop shadow. Nothing too fancy. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to design the landing page. That honestly looks good enough for now. And then I'm going to have like an expanded page. So when I click on the book, I want just one of these. So I'll paste to replace to kind of expand out. So I'll expand this to like 420. I'm not using any kind of grid or rulers because I'm just going to let Claude interpret it to its best ability. And I'll just put in a title like Creativity Inc. Make that 32, bold. And then I'm just going to add a description here. So I think I got AI. Replace. While that's running, I'm going to switch this to, I think I'm using Google Sans. I'll just use enter and set that to regular. Now, obviously, if you have design system styles, you could pull that in here and start plugging and playing so that it's actually using the right tokens. Again, I'm really using this more as like a rough wireframe than anything else. And let's say we want like some stars in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take the home page, and then I'm going to take the interaction. I'm going to give all those links to Claude, and we'll fill this in like this. Obviously, there's more we could put in here. I mean, I don't really feel a need to go too crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this like bookshelf home and bookshelf detail. And I'm going to go back to Claude and I'm going to say, I want you to build out the bookshelf tab with this as the landing page. Replace all the covers with unique books. When I click on a book, it should have a smooth opening animation like our modals, and the layout should look like this. I'll copy that frame and paste that in there and hit enter. So that was quite a bit that we gave it to. It wasn't like a simple change this tab. You could definitely do something small like that. When I was testing for this video, I just added the bookshelf tab, didn't even add content, and that works pretty quick. It could be like 30 seconds, less than a minute. When I had it try to rebuild this entire page with like a massive avatar image, I was like playing around with the layout. It did take at least 5 or 6 minutes. And at that point, if you know exactly what you want to change, it would be faster to just jump into Terminal and just actually use Claude to make the change, or Cursor, whatever you're in, and just say make the avatar bigger. So I do think there's a very specific reason you would be going back to Figma from Code. And the number one reason is if you don't have any existing artifacts for that code base in Figma. This is a very real use case that's been happening at my job. We just went through a really big UI refresh for our flagship product, but there are still projects and tickets that need to be completed with the old UI, and none of that exists in Figma for us designers. And honestly, trying to rebuild all those from scratch, or even just trying to use screenshots, is very, very tedious, and it's not helpful to engineers to just get a bunch of screenshots with none of our values and tokens connected. So what I've been doing lately is jumping into our code base and sending specific screens that I need and using that as a jumping off point. The second use case, I think, where it makes sense is if there's a certain amount of like fidelity that you're trying to get to that either Claude is just not getting right and you'd rather have that control. Generally, there's going to be things where using auto layout and just using our styles and variables in Figma is going to be faster. Or you just don't have access to the code base, and so you've been given maybe a URL or you've been given something as a reference, but you just don't actually have options to go back into Claude. So maybe this is that gap where an engineer sends you something and then you pull it into Figma, make the change. They can then take that and use MCP to rebuild it. So I do think there are valid reasons you would actually be going code to Figma and then Figma to code like we're used to. I think they just need to be very intentional because, again, if you're just trying to make a quick change on a tab or smaller edits, it does not make sense to bring it into Figma, especially if you're doing a ton of those and you're just experimenting. I think it's definitely worth at the end of a cycle, a sprint, a ticket, that you take that final version and you push that back into Figma. And then you can start to use that as a documentation system where we all signed off on this and here's the latest in Figma. But other than that, things are moving so quick. I think it is pretty tough to try and keep both areas in sync, and you're going to end up doing a lot of redundant work. So this is still 3 minutes in. I gave it quite a lot to... So this is still 3 minutes in. We've used like 1,000 tokens, but I'm going to fast forward and let's see what it looks like. So I did have to make that follow-up prompt, but it's looking pretty solid right now. It seems like the issue is that it inserted some of those new styles inside of a media query, so we just weren't seeing it at this viewport. So that's a Claude mistake, but after I did that one quick follow-up prompt, we're actually getting a full grid of books. I can click into these and it pulls up a modal. I was originally thinking that this is going to be an expansive cover and it's actually like a dedicated page, but I think Claude actually was trying to be smart and it noticed that I have this modal interaction and it knows that I'm using that in other areas, so it's trying to keep it consistent. I actually really like the idea that it got these more minimalist covers and it pulled in dynamic content, which again, like I would never see a reason to do some of this stuff in Figma. No need to keep going with different covers. I probably could have even used a simple rectangle on Figma to be even faster. But so it did a pretty good job pulling it in. And if I pull it next to what we had, the sizes are a bit smaller, but I think that has more to do with the fact that I wasn't designing in the same grid in Figma. And I actually have a very specific narrow width for the body. So that is probably trying to be consistent between the other tabs. Again, the stuff that an engineer is probably going to look at and just assume for you as a designer, where if a designer is starting from scratch, you may just kind of do whatever you want and go down these rabbit holes and not know some of these constraints are in there. So that's why I try and design with the least amount of fidelity as possible. Like, I probably shouldn't have even added the drop shadows. These could have just been solid rectangles, and that would have been more than enough to send over. So that's a quick walkthrough of Figma's new code to canvas feature in Claude. I hope it was helpful, and I'd love to hear how you're using this workflow in the age of AI and how we are closing the gap between these tools. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.